The rescue in the red dunes. The twin suns of Valtora burned over endless red dunes, their light turning the sand into waves of fire. Captain Ryan Hale stumbled through the heat, his suit scratched, his water almost gone, his ship destroyed behind him. He was a soldier of the United Earth Fleet, trained to survive on alien worlds. But this planet felt different, almost alive. The air shimmered strangely, and the wind carried faint whispers that made the hair on his neck rise. Ryan scanned the horizon, hoping to spot metal wreckage or a distress beacon, anything human. But there was only red sand, sharp rocks, and the endless hum of alien life. Then he heard it, a faint cry, like a wounded animal, soft but filled with pain. He stopped, gripping his plasma rifle tightly, his instincts shouting caution. No human should be here. So what was that sound? The cry came again, weaker this time. Carried by the hot wind, Ryan followed the sound, climbing over a ridge until he saw it. A small creature lay half buried in the sand, its body covered in silver fur that shimmered like liquid metal. Blue blood oozed from a deep wound near its side, glowing softly under the twin suns. Its eyes were closed, its breathing shallow. Ryan had seen many strange life forms, but none like this one. He knelt slowly, keeping his rifle ready. The creature flinched but didn't attack. Something in its face, the shape of its eyes, the trembling way it tried to breathe, reminded him of a terrified child. Against every rule in the survival manual, Ryan took out his emergency med kit. He whispered to himself, "You're breaking protocol again. Hale." But he couldn't walk away, not this time. He sprayed the wound with antiseptic foam, watching it hiss as it sealed the torn skin. The creature whimpered softly, then opened one glowing eye. Ryan froze. For a second, he saw something impossible. Intelligence, awareness, almost recognition. "Easy," he said quietly. "I'm trying to help." The creature blinked slowly, its breathing growing steadier. Night began to fall, and the red sky turned dark purple. The temperature dropped fast, and Ryan knew predators would come out soon. He dragged the creature under a rock ledge for shelter. He built a small fire using the remains of his flare sticks. Above them, 3 moons rose together, silver and cold. The sound of howling echoed through the dunes. Long and hungry, Ryan loaded his rifle, scanning the shadows. From the darkness, shapes moved. Thin, crawling beasts with glassy teeth. They circled closer, drawn by the scent of blood. Ryan aimed and fired, bright bolts of plasma lighting up the night. The beasts screamed and scattered, but one leapt at him. Claws out, he rolled aside, firing again, the blast echoing across the dunes. When the last one fell, silence returned, broken only by his heavy breathing. Ryan looked back at the creature. It was awake now, its glowing eyes fixed on him. The firelight reflected in them like stars. Slowly, it crawled closer, resting its head on his boot. Ryan felt a strange warmth in his chest, the kind he hadn't felt since leaving Earth. He whispered, "Guess you're stuck with me now." Hours passed, and exhaustion took over. Ryan dozed lightly, dreaming of waves, forests, and the blue sky of home. But something stirred him awake. A soft voice. Not a sound, but a thought, brushed through his mind. It was gentle, melodic, almost human. He looked around, but the creature was still lying near the fire. Then he realized the voice came from it. The words formed slowly in his mind. Ryan. Hale. His blood ran cold. He leaned closer, staring at the creature in disbelief. "Did you just—" he whispered, but the creature didn't move, its eyes already closed again. Ryan sat there in silence, heart pounding. He wasn't imagining it. The creature had spoken his name, and not out loud. How did it know him? Who or what was it? As the night deepened, faint lights began to appear far off in the desert. Tiny blue sparks drifting in the air, Moving toward the horizon, Ryan stared, feeling the pull of something greater. Somewhere beyond those dunes, something was watching, waiting. He didn't know it yet, but the moment he saved that wounded creature, his destiny had changed. The creature's faint breathing slowed, and for a second, he thought it smiled. Above them, the moons aligned, and the stars of Valtora shimmered brighter than ever. Ryan looked up, unaware that in Unbeknownst, the healing and the voice morning came slow over the red dunes, the twin suns rising like burning eyes over the horizon. Captain Ryan Hale woke up stiff and cold, sand clinging to his armor, the small fire long dead. For a moment, he forgot where he was, until he saw the glowing creature beside him, breathing softly, its silver fur catching the dawn light. Everything from the night before came back. The fight, the voice, the impossible whisper that spoke his name. He rubbed his face and looked around. The desert quiet, almost too quiet. The wound on the creature's side had closed, but faint blue lines pulsed under its skin, like veins of light. Ryan reached out carefully, checking its pulse. The creature opened its eyes, and for a heartbeat, Ryan forgot to breathe. They weren't animal eyes anymore. They looked human, full of awareness and calm intelligence. "Hey there," Ryan said softly. "You're still alive. That's good." The creature blinked, tilting its head slightly. He didn't know if it understood him, but something in its gaze told him it did. When he stood up, it tried to follow, limping, one paw dragging through the sand. He helped it to its feet, surprised by how light it felt. It leaned on him like a lost child, trusting him completely. The soldier inside him wanted to focus on survival. Water, food, shelter, a signal beacon, but the man inside him couldn't ignore the connection he felt to this being. As they moved through the dunes, he noticed strange patterns in the sand, symbols glowing faintly where the creature stepped. They weren't random. They looked like writing, shifting and fading. As soon as he blinked, Ryan frowned, wondering if the creature was leaving a trail on purpose. By noon, they found a narrow canyon with a thin stream of water running through it. Ryan filled his flask and helped the creature drink. The water glowed faintly as it touched its lips. Then, without warning, a flash of light burst from its body, bright enough to make him step back. For a moment, Ryan thought he saw its true form. A tall, slender shape, wings of energy folded tight. Then it was gone. The creature small again. Trembling in the sand, Ryan's voice shook. "What are you?" The creature looked up at him, and again, the thought voice brushed across his mind, gentle and clear. "I am not what you think. Ryan Hale." His heart almost stopped. He stared at it, trying to find words. "You're speaking in my head," he whispered. "How?" The voice replied, faint but calm. "You saved me, so I share the bond. I remember you, even from before." "Before," Ryan repeated, his throat dry. But the creature didn't answer, its energy fading. It lowered its head, exhausted. Ryan knelt beside it, torn between fear and wonder. He wrapped his jacket around its body to keep it warm, even though the heat was rising again. Hours passed. Ryan used the time to fix his broken comm device, trying to send a distress signal. Static filled the air. No reply. No signal. Nothing but the sound of the wind. When he looked back, the creature was gone. He jumped to his feet, scanning the canyon, his rifle ready. "Hey! Where are you?" he shouted, his voice echoing off the rock walls. A shimmer appeared in the air, like heat rising from metal. Slowly, the creature stepped out, but it wasn't the same anymore. The silver fur peeled away like mist, revealing smooth, pale skin underneath. Its eyes glowed brighter, now completely human, and soft light surrounded it. Before his eyes, the small animal changed into something humanoid. A woman, tall, graceful, wearing nothing but strands of energy that looked like silk and stars. Ryan's mind froze, every instinct screaming confusion. He raised his weapon out of reflex, but couldn't pull the trigger. The being raised one glowing hand. "Do not fear!" Her voice echoed inside his mind. "I mean you no harm, Captain of Earth." Ryan's weapon lowered slowly, his hands trembling. "You can talk," he whispered. "You were the creature. She nodded, her expression calm, almost sad. "My true form was hidden, my energy fading. I would have died without you," she said through thought and emotion. Every word like a song. "Who are you?" Ryan asked, unable to look away. The woman's eyes softened. "I am Lysera, princess of the Illyrian Dominion, heir to the crystal worlds." Ryan stepped back in shock. The name meant nothing to him, but the power behind it did. He looked up at the sky, where faint streaks of blue light still moved. Ships, maybe, or stars. He couldn't tell. "You're an alien princess," he said, half to himself. "And I saved you without even knowing." Lysera smiled faintly. "Not just saved me," she said. "You bound us human. Our lives are now linked by the bond of rescue. Your fate is tied to mine." Ryan stared at her, confused and fascinated. "What bond?" he asked, but before she could answer, the ground shook violently. The canyon walls trembled. Sand poured down from above, in the distance. A sound rose, mechanical, thunderous, getting closer. Lysera's expression changed, her glow dimming. "They found me," she whispered. "We must run." Before Ryan could speak, she grabbed his hand, her touch warm and electric, and in a burst of blue light, the world around them blurred. The canyon, the dunes, the suns. Everything vanished in a heartbeat, leaving only the echo of her voice in his mind. "Hold on, Ryan Hale. Your world is about to change forever." The revelation and the battle light exploded around Ryan Hale like a storm of stars. His stomach twisted as gravity vanished, and when his vision cleared, he was standing inside a glowing chamber made of crystal and air. The walls pulsed with soft blue veins of light, and the floor felt alive beneath his boots. Lysera stood before him, no longer the weak creature he had rescued, but radiant and powerful, her eyes like twin galaxies. Ryan gasped for breath, trying to understand. "Where are we?" he managed to say. Lysera turned slowly, her long silver hair floating as if underwater. "We are within my sanctuary." Her voice echoed gently inside his mind. A hidden vessel beneath the surface of Valtora. Ryan touched one of the walls. It felt warm, like skin. "This place is alive," he whispered. "Yes," she replied. "It is part of me, and I am part of it." Before Ryan could ask more, the ship trembled. A deep rumble rolled through the chamber, and symbols lit up across the walls. Lysera's calm face turned serious. "They are coming," she said. "The hunters of the Dominion, my father's enemies. They seek the power I carry." Ryan stared at her, confusion mixing with fear. "You mean, they're coming here? For you?" She nodded, stepping closer, her hand glowing faintly. "When you saved me, the bond connected us. Your energy now shields mine. They will track both of us." Ryan blinked, realizing the danger. "So they'll kill us both," he muttered. Lysera's voice softened. "Not if we fight together." He laughed nervously, shaking his head. "I'm just a soldier, not a hero from your legends." Her eyes met his, glowing brighter. "You were brave enough to save a dying creature on an alien world. That makes you more than a soldier." Ryan Hale. The floor shifted, forming armor around his body, smooth and silver, like liquid metal. He looked down in shock, watching as the alien material adjusted perfectly to his movements. What is this thing?" "Symbiotic armor," Lysera said. "It responds to your will. Your courage gives it strength." Ryan clenched his fists, feeling power surge through him. A loud alarm filled the chamber, and an opening appeared in the wall, revealing the vast red sky outside. Dark ships were descending, long and sharp, leaving trails of smoke. Lysara raised her hand, and a shimmering barrier surrounded the sanctuary. Beams of light struck the shield, exploding in brilliant sparks. Ryan aimed his rifle instinctively, even though it looked tiny compared to their weapons. "Any chance you've got something bigger than this?" he asked. Lysara smiled faintly. "I thought you would never ask." With a wave of her hand, the crystal floor split apart, revealing two hovering drones shaped like wings. They attached to Ryan's armor, lifting him slightly off the ground. He gasped as they hummed to life, his feet leaving the surface. "I can fly now," he shouted. "You can fight," she answered, stepping beside him, her body glowing brighter than before. The enemy ships opened fire again, beams of red energy cutting through the air. Ryan and Lysara shot upward together, leaving trails of blue light. For the first time, he saw the true beauty of Valtora. Its floating mountains, silver rivers, and glowing forests beneath the dunes. But the view vanished quickly as explosions filled the sky. Ryan dodged a beam, returning fire from his wrist cannon, the alien armor syncing perfectly with his thoughts. He felt every pulse, every strike. Like the suit was reading his mind, Lysara spun beside him, releasing arcs of blue lightning that sliced through enemy ships with precision. It was like dancing and fighting at once, energy and motion blending into light, but there were too many. The sky darkened with the swarm of hunters, mechanical beasts shaped like winged predators. Lysara's shield flickered, cracks spreading through it. Ryan turned toward her, shouting, "We can't hold them forever!" She looked at him, her face pale but determined. "Then we end it now," she said. Together, she raised her hands, and the air around them began to glow. Ryan felt a surge of energy through the bond, her power flowing into him. Images flashed in his mind, her homeworld shining with crystal towers, her people falling under fire, her escape through the stars. Her voice echoed softly. "My father wanted peace. They destroyed him for it. Now they will destroy me too, unless..." Ryan's heart pounded. "Unless what?" Her eyes shimmered with tears of light. "Unless you become my guardian." Before he could answer, a beam of red energy struck them. The explosion threw Ryan across the sky, his armor cracking, the drone spinning out of control. He crashed hard against a floating rock, pain ripping through his chest. Through the smoke, he saw Lysara falling, her glow fading, her wings flickering like dying stars. "Lysara!" he shouted, leaping off the rock, diving after her. The wind howled, sand rising like a storm below them. He reached her just before she hit the ground, wrapping his arms around her. They hit the dunes in a cloud of fire and dust. Silence followed, broken only by Ryan's heartbeat. He looked down. Lysara's eyes were dim, her body cold. "No," he whispered, shaking her shoulder. "You're not dying on me. Not now." Her hand trembled as she touched his face, her voice a fading whisper in his mind. "You are brave, Ryan Hale. Braver than you know." Then her body dissolved into light, sinking into his chest, merging with him completely. Ryan fell to his knees, gasping as blue light spread through his veins. He screamed as power flooded him, the same light she carried now burning inside him. When he opened his eyes, the sky was filled with enemy ships, but Ryan Hale was no longer just human. He stood, glowing with Lysara's energy, her voice echoing softly in his mind. "Our fight is not over, my guardian." And as the first ship descended, Ryan raised his hand. The sand around him lifted like a storm, and the desert itself began to rise. The battle for Valtora had just begun. The final choice. The red dunes of Valtora burned again, but this time, not from the suns, from the war raging above them. The sky was a storm of light, blue and crimson beams, slicing across the horizon. In the middle of it stood Captain Ryan Hale, his body glowing with alien energy, his heart beating with a rhythm that was not entirely human anymore. Lysara's voice whispered inside him, calm and strong. "You are not alone, my guardian." Ryan looked down at his hands, streams of blue light running through his veins, like rivers of living fire. He could feel her. Her presence, her power, her emotions, all woven with his own. When she had merged with him, she hadn't died. She had become a part of him. Now, he carried the strength of an alien princess and the courage of a human soldier. The hunters swarmed across the desert, machines shaped like serpents and birds, their metal wings slicing through the air. Ryan raised his hand, and the sand around him rose like a wall, crashing into the machines with the force of a tidal wave. He moved like the wind, fast and fierce. The bond between him and Lysara, guiding every step. Each time he struck, light exploded. Each movement felt like two souls fighting as one. But even with all their strength, the hunters kept coming. Lysara's voice trembled slightly. "Their leader is near, Kereth, the warlord who destroyed my world." Ryan gritted his teeth. "Then we finish this." He launched himself into the air, the alien armor responding to his thoughts, wings of pure energy unfolding behind him. Above the dunes, the massive warship of the hunters appeared, black and cold, its surface lined with red symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. Kereth appeared at the ship's front, a towering figure made of armor and darkness, his eyes burning with rage. His voice echoed across the battlefield. "The princess hides behind a human. Pathetic." Ryan hovered in the air, his rifle shifting into a glowing blade. "She doesn't hide," he said quietly, his voice filled with fire. "She fights through me." The warlord laughed, a sound like thunder, and raised his hand, unleashing a storm of red energy. Ryan crossed his arms, forming a shield of light, the blast shaking the dunes below. Lysara's voice was calm inside him. "He feeds on fear, Ryan. Give him hope instead." He smiled faintly. "Then let's show him what hope looks like." He charged forward, cutting through the air like a comet, the two forces colliding in an explosion of color and sound. Each strike echoed through the sky, metal meeting energy, darkness meeting light. Ryan felt pain but also strength. Every memory of Earth, every person he ever fought for, giving him reason to keep going. At last, he broke through Kereth's defense, driving the glowing blade into the warlord's chest. The creature roared, energy spilling from its armor. Ryan shouted, "For Lysara!" as he unleashed all his power. Light burst outward, brighter than the sun's, blinding everything for miles. When the light faded, the sky was quiet. The warship had fallen, burning as it disappeared into the horizon. The machines were gone, their red eyes fading one by one. Ryan floated back to the ground, his armor cracked and smoking, the dunes silent again. He dropped to his knees, breathing heavily, the energy fading from his body. Lysara's voice returned, soft as the wind. "You have done what even my warriors could not. My world is free." Ryan smiled weakly, looking up at the sky. "I couldn't have done it without you," he said. "You never were without me," her voice replied gently. "But now the bond must end. Your body is human. It cannot hold my energy for long." He froze. "What do you mean, end?" A warmth spread through his chest, and he realized her light was fading. "You must live, Ryan Hale," she whispered. "Go home. Tell them we existed. Tell them you met someone who believed in your kind." Ryan shook his head. "Don't go." But her presence was already slipping away like starlight. "You saved me once." Her voice echoed faintly. "And in return, I saved you, my guardian." A final burst of light wrapped around him, and then there was only silence. He opened his eyes to find himself back on the ridge where it all began. The wreckage of his ship lay nearby, smoke curling into the air. There was no sign of Lysara, no glow, no alien light, just the desert wind. He stood there quietly, staring at the endless horizon. For a long time, he thought he was alone again, until he noticed something small lying in the sand. A shard of crystal, glowing faintly blue, pulsing like a heartbeat. He picked it up, smiling sadly. "I'll tell them," he whispered. "I promise." Moments later, his distress beacon finally activated. A signal flashing across the sky. A voice crackled through his helmet. "Captain Hale, we've got your location. Hold tight, we're coming." He looked up at the sky, where twin suns shone bright over the dunes. And for just a second, he saw her. A faint figure of light watching him from above, smiling. Then she was gone, carried away by the wind. Ryan Hale stood there as the rescue ship descended. He was still human, but something inside him had changed forever. He had seen a world beyond imagination, fought beside a being of light, and learned that courage had no species. As the ship's engines roared, he whispered one last time into the wind, "Goodbye, Lysara," and in the echo of the desert, the wind seemed to answer softly, "Goodbye, my guardian."